Meanwhile, overnight, the world officially a safer place as another chief terror leader in Iran is confirmed dead. Israel confirming its airstrikes killed him and two more senior officials in another blow to the terror regime's leadership. So what does this mean for the future of the regime, and who are the leaders and who's still alive? Middle East Institute Associate Fellow Dr. Nazee Moinian is joining us right now. Nazee, you were born there, right, in Iran?
Yes.
And when's the last time you were there?
1980.
You've been staying up with this and hoping for this day in which the regime comes to, into the family of nations. How close are we?
We are militarily very, very close. All the objectives have been achieved, and there are more targets to be hit. But with the firepower between the Israelis and the Americans, I have no doubt those will be hit also. Especially
with the Israelis, with their intelligence on the ground. Let's look at the progress being made. Look at the dead wall. All these evil guys that have kept that regime and repressed their people since 1979. These are the ones that were doing it, and these are the ones that are dead. Of course, they're the supreme leader. This is the guy that was taken out last night. How significant is that?
Well, you know, every one of these guys are significant. The Minister of Intelligence has its own role on trying to crack down on the demonstrations, being able to coordinate between various factions that are on the ground, trying to be able to bring some sort of a regime crackdown. So all of these guys they filled big shoes. But of course, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who was the longest running dictator in the Middle East.
Dead right away. And
yes.
These are the people underneath them. And Larijani taunting us on Friday,
yes.
Dead on Monday.
Ali Larijani is one of those figures that he was a smooth operator. He navigated between different circles of power. He was a person that not only shaped the messaging inside and coordinate different activities, but also he shaped the messaging to the outside world.
So all these guys are commanders working together, but they plan for a depth charge should something happen to them. These are some of the men that are still alive right now. Not going to be women, because women have no place in their society the way it's currently structured. This guy might be dead. He's certainly too afraid to speak, right?
Well, my Israeli sources tell me that he's alive. He is a little disfigured. He's probably lost a foot. He probably doesn't know he's a supreme leader, but he's alive.
Right. I heard when he was told he got the job, he said, not me, thank you. The president, not much power.
He's irrelevant because, you know, he also tried to resign yesterday.
He tried to resign yesterday?
He tried to resign yesterday. And this was the second time. I think the first time they didn't accept. I don't know what the result of the second round is.
No, this guy's like a scientist, and he was replaced when the other president crashed in a chopper crash. The foreign minister, this has been pretty much the face. He's doing the Sunday shows.
Yeah.
Is he a major player, and is he somebody that we can deal with? Are we looking to reach out to?
Well, we've always been able to talk to everybody that we had been trying to bring to the table, but the buck always stopped with Ali Khamenei, who's no longer there, with the supreme leader.
Right.
He dictated the terms. He made his preferences obvious. He followed the line. He's a principlist. Principlist means the person who follows the line of the imam.
But by the way, when he makes the statements, it also gets trumped oftentimes by the IRGC spokesman, the head of which is now dead. But we'll see. He's the one who reportedly, now denying it, texting Witkoff.
Also, Brian, he's the one that was on Sunday show saying that I speak on behalf of Iranian people. I'm the voice of Iranian people, which made a lot of Iranians mad.
So as we look at these guys that are left, you point to the parliament speaker as someone with legitimate power still.
Yes.
Is he somebody that the West could reach out to or has to kill?
I don't know how to answer that. I can tell you that Gallup is a major player. He was very close to Qasem Soleimani that Trump had ordered killed on January 2020. He was the ex-mayor of Tehran. Then he became the parliament speaker. He's also an effective insider.
And the Mossad is contacting other commanders in the field and let them know you have a choice. You're on a blacklist. You're going to die unless you resign your commission. And last night you said the people did speak up and went into the streets last night, and they were told not to on the Fire Festival, correct?
Yes.
So they went in the streets anyway.
They did, and they celebrated, and then the Besieged came to break them up, and the Besieged heard the drone sounds, and they fled.
The Besieged ran?
Yeah.
Maybe the unrest is maybe just days away, but we know they paid the price. Between 7,000 and 40,000 people lost their lives in January. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.